Hey guys, so let's jump right into lesson number 2. So what am I going to be talking about this time? I'm going to be talking about my broker, the layout that I have of like my whole setup, my hotkeys, and my scanner. So let me bring up... I use interactive brokers to trade. So in Canada here, I don't have the PDT rule, so I don't have to wait until I have $25,000 in the account like everyone in the States does. Whoops. Depending on your broker, that is. Most of them require that. So I'm currently at Interactive Brokers. They have like a great commission structure. It's either fixed or tiered, depending on how many shares you use. It's half a cent per share, with a maximum of 0.5% of the trade value as commission, as a maximum. So, for example, here, when I took, let's look for how many shares I took here on MYND. So MYND, I bought 1,000 shares, and the commission on that was, what is that, like $1.60 or something? So that's pretty good. And then to sell those shares, it's another close to $1.80, I think. So just over $2 or $3 for 1,000 shares. That's really, really good. So if you're at TD or if you're at RBC or something and you don't have this broker, you know, you're paying $10 or $9.99 usually commission each way. So my all-in commission on MYND, actually, it's over here on my P&L. On this trade, it was $5.41, and I traded it, or I bought a total of 1,400 shares. I think I was in and out of it twice. So that's half of the commission of buying or selling at a regular bank, let's say, just one way. So, you know, that's really good. I don't have a lot of problems with Interactive Brokers. I find that it has everything in one, and that's what's really good to me. So it's free, except for the commissions, and it has my scanner here, which is how I find the stocks that I'm going to trade. I'll of course be talking about exactly what my settings are for the scanner. I have the gap scanner, the main scanner, when I wake up and I look at it, and then I switch over to the short-term scanner after like the first 30 seconds, or right after the market opens pretty much. I'll get into my settings on this in a couple minutes though. So it has a scanner, it has an execution software. Of course, you can buy and sell stocks within this program, and you can also use hotkeys on it, which is amazing. I'll go through all my hotkeys, and to finish it off, there's also the charting. So it obviously comes with its own charting software. So I think it's amazing that you can have all of the 3 in one, or I guess 4 with the hotkey compatibility, because most of the time you'll have to buy all the stuff separately. Like, you know, you pay Trade Ideas $300 a month for their charting package, and then you go up and buy DAS Trader, DOS Trader, whatever it is, for another $200 a month to execute, or you can use their charting too, and then, you know, another Trade Idea, or sorry, eSignal for the charting, and then Trade Ideas would be for the scanner. So this obviously isn't a Trade Ideas type of scanner, but it works really, really, really well. So how do I have this set up? So my main scanner, I always have this open at the beginning of the day. So I'm looking for stocks that are between 20 cents and higher. It doesn't matter the top range. They're up at least 3% on the day. And it lists the volume and their last the last price, obviously, and also the shares outstanding. So I wish I could get float. So float is the amount of shares tradable to the public, whereas shares outstanding is the total. So let's say that for CASI here, let me close this window. It's kind of starting to rain. So their shares outstanding is 79.6 million. So let's say that insiders held 39 or 29.6 million shares. So then the shares available for the public to trade, like you and I, would be 50 million. So 50 million would be the float. Now, Interactive Brokers does not have float. So if I type in float, they don't have the float here. They just have, you know, shares outstanding and insider shares owned. So I could add this and subtract it and figure out the float, but this is good enough for me because I know that for something today, like MYND was a big mover, so I see that the shares outstanding is, you know, 4.5 million, so the float is probably much lower than that, whether it's 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. I don't really care. I just know that it's low enough that other traders are gonna really like trading it. So typically, traders look for stocks with a float of under, you know, 10 million is usually best. Under a couple million, 1, 2, or 3 million is amazing. That it'll make massive moves for the same amount of buyers, just because of simple supply and demand. You know, if you have the same amount, or if you have a smaller amount of something available with the same amount of people trying to get it, it's going to shoot the price up. So that's my main scanner. And then on the short-term scanner here, it's almost like my high of day scanner. I had to customize it so that it did that because I don't have any other way of checking for a high of day scanner. So in this one, it's a little more defined. So this is between 70 cents and $20. I usually don't trade any stocks under, you know, 10 or 15, but it doesn't add that many more stocks on the scanner that I have to flip through. So, and on this one, I look for above 5%. And the key on this one is short-term volume. So short-term volume, I think it's 3 minutes. The short-term volume for 3 minutes. So in the past 3 minutes, like in the preceding 3 minutes, the stock has to have, or any of the stocks that show up on the scanner have to have a volume in those 3 minutes of at least 20,000 shares. So it's not going to pick up every single stock that is up 5% that's at least 70 cents. I need to, you know, look for the stocks that traders are starting to jump in but maybe haven't yet. So this is the filter that really filters out all the crap and shows me mostly potential stuff. And then let's say if 5 different things pop up on here, only 1 of them or 2 of them might be tradable. So that's actually how I found, which one was it? MYND this morning, because I don't think it was on the Gap scanner. I don't remember it being on the Gap scanner. Let's look. Oh, we already have it up. So yeah, so at 9:30, it didn't trade pre-market, I guess, or it was only up. It wasn't up very much at all up until the bell rang. So then the volume, you know, started to come in, and it popped back up on my scanner here when the volume started to come back in again, and that's how I saw it, and I almost got in for the halt, but I didn't. But anyways, that's not the point of this video right now, is to talk about that. It's to talk about my layout. So let me try and bring the camera over here. I can show you guys exactly how this is all set up. So this is my 3 monitors that I was talking about in the last video. On the left over here is it's not like something towards active trading. So I have my profit and loss down here, I have news up here, and I have notes right here, and this is like something else, like recording software. Or, you know, if I click on Spotify, I have my Spotify up there. It's kind of non-trading stuff I have over there. And then on the main monitor here is what I'm actively trading. So this is a 1-minute chart right here, a 5-minute chart, and the daily chart, and the order window, and like the time in sales and the level 2. All of that data is just for one stock. So that's the one that I'm currently trading. Actively trading, where my hotkeys will work if I you know, hit shift 2 or any of my hotkeys. That's where they'll execute on the stock that is showing up here. So then, you know, let's say I'm flipping through pre-market and I see some other stocks that I like. So what I'll do is I'll click and I'll drag it and I'll put it onto one of these. Let me move this microphone out of the way. I'll put it onto one of these charts up here so I can just kind of see what it's doing, and then if it starts to pop up or I like the way it looks, I can jump in it from there. So I have 3 monitors. I'm basically using 2.5 to trade. You can see only half of that monitor is being used, and I think it's amazing because I can not only trade, but I can watch stuff right beside me to see if anything else is popping up. So let's put that back there. Is that in the right spot? Yes. Okay, cool. So what else was I going to talk about? Ah, yes, my hotkeys. So I can show you my hotkeys here. I have a whole bunch of hotkeys. To sum it up, Control H. Okay, so they're all down here. They're not down there for some reason. There they are. So I have Shift 1 to buy 100 shares, Shift 2 to buy 200 shares, Shift 3 is 300 shares, all the way up to 0, which is 1,000 shares. It buys them on the ask with an offset of 5 cents. So buy, for example, Shift 1 will buy 100 shares at the ask price plus 5 cents. So the reason I have plus 5 cents is so that I don't miss the move. So if I'm trying to get in this stock here at $2 or let's say $2, and there's only 100 shares available, it'll buy 100 shares, or if I hit 500 shares of a buy, then it'll buy 500 shares up to 205 because of that offset. So, for example, buy limit plus 5 cents is my Shift 5 hotkey, and that will buy, like I said, 500 shares at the ask plus 5 cents, just so that I can get into the move. And then usually I try and sell those shares on the ask. So I put them up on the ask for someone else to buy, and I do that by holding Control. So you can see here, you know, sell as a limit order on the ask. So Control 1 is 100 shares, Control 2 is 200 shares, again, all the way up to 0, which is 1,000. I have a couple other keys, like, you know, cancel orders and discard every other order. If I put my shares up and then decide that I don't want to get in or I don't want to sell them yet, I just hit Q. My bailout button, so the closed position button, is Control tilde or tilde, whatever it's called, back quote, I guess, on this. That'll just get me out of the position and it'll dump it on the bid. So I was saying to sell my shares, I put them up on the ask. So I would hit Control 2, for example, put 200 shares up on the ask. But if I want to instead put them on the bid and just dump them, it's Control W. So on the keyboard, W is right below 2. So it's really close, so that I just know where it is if I want to do it quickly. What else? I have a couple more things in here. If I want to change the limit order, like if I can't really show you right now, but if I put my shares up on the ask and they're not getting filled, I can simply press the down arrow key to lower the price. Where is it here? Down. Decrease the limit price by 1 cent, or 1 tick. So in most cases, these stocks move in 1 cent increments, so it would be 1 cent. So it'll keep moving it down, and then when I want to transmit the new order, all I have to do is hit enter, and then it'll update the order. So that's kind of cool. It helps me to get out of things quickly and then update my orders instead of canceling them. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I have over here that I was going to talk about my broker. So I talked about interactive brokers. I talked about the layout that I have here. So all of my charts, like I said, here, let me bring it over so you can see. This is the half right here that is on my other monitor. So, you know, news here. I don't have any notes right now, but if I want to type something, I can select a symbol and then just type in, you know, great trading, be careful not to chase, and then it'll be there just so I can write myself a note. And then this is what I have on my main monitor, like I said, the one that I'm actively trading. Then over on the other monitor is the clock here at the top, and 8 different 1-minute setups, 1-minute candle charts, just to watch stuff. You know, if something moved big yesterday, like SLS, I can put it up here and watch it for the next day, or just stocks that I want to have on watch. And then always on the right here, I have the SPY, which is the overall stock market. I have the daily, and I also have the 5-minute chart. So I find that's really useful to know kind of what's going on in the overall market. It doesn't always affect what we're doing in the small caps, but it's sometimes nice to know kind of what's going on. So hopefully that helps a couple people. If you have any questions more about my scanner or why I have some of these things here, like I have like my recent trades and recent orders right here, just so I can see prices that I get in at and stuff like that. Yeah, if you have any questions, just comment or let me know. So thanks for watching.